The Research Center for the Technological Development of Climate Change and Environmental Security presents Case Study of Solutions to Environmental Problems. Topics: Leader Development Center, San Jorge's Sevens, Natural Disasters in Peru, Biodiversity. Case 1. Best Practices in Tanneries. The Business Council for Sustainable Development. It is a group of 48 business leaders from all over the world. Each member works in private way and not as an official representative of any company. It was created by a Swiss businessman. Tanneries. Leather manufacturing has been a rather dirty and unsociable activity. The tanneries were located outside the cities, down the direction of the winds and the streams, in order to avoid noxious odors and waste. Leather manufacturing plays a positive environmental role as a byproduct of recycled scrap meat industry. It is the biggest industry in the world based on a subproduct of other industrial sector. Toxic waste. Production of leather is a complex multi-stage process, and in each stage waste is created. On average, 1 metric ton of crude leather prime matter provides only 200 kilograms of leather. Byproducts include 50 cubic meters of wastewater containing a range of chemicals and a half of metric ton of sludge and solid waste. Best practice. Currently, industries and researchers discover ways to reduce the generation of pollutants and waste, ways to improve the efficiency of the production process, innovative ways of using tannery waste as prime matter for adhesives, fertilizers and animal fodder, make it possible to shorten this industry pollution by 50% with only minor investments. In recent decades, tanneries have been transferred from the industrialized world to the developing world, where pollution control systems are often weak and resources for environmental protection are few, increasing the need to spread best practices of this industry in the developing world. General characteristics of the industry. It is intensive in the use of labor, and it is adaptable to a low-tech production and a small scale. Internationally, the International Council of Tanners recently adopted a Code of Environmental Conduct. The Program for Cleaner Production of the Environmental Program of the United Nations has established a working group on tanneries which has compiled a lot of successful stories. At the local level, there is no standard tannery, due to the processes are quite different, depending on the location and the sophistication of the market where the final product is placed. International best practice has had to adapt to the local context. Often pilot projects are required to demonstrate the feasibility of the change. Center for the Development of Leather. It is located at the Institute of Industrial Research and Development in Kenya. The items mentioned above have limited the ability of local companies to assess and install cleaner technologies from abroad. Weak institutional and legislative framework. The lack of information and financial resources. The collective effort of research institutes and trade associations can help to spread the costs of improving, minimizing the inherent risks of innovation. This organism has grown for 10 years with the technical and financial assistance of the Industrial Development Organization of the United Nations and the Federal Republic of Germany. It aims to provide advice and support to local companies on the following interrelated topics: identify and develop improved processes and product technologies which encourage domestic and export potential of the industry, and develop and disseminate best ways to reduce environmental hazards resulting from the production of leather. The center has established a pilot plant tannery, a production and leather design unit, a laboratory for quality control, and a demonstration wastewater unit at its facilities in Nairobi. Financing. Although most of its funding comes from domestic and foreign government sources, a nominal fee for the use of services of the center is charged. The first step towards sustainable development for the leather industry is to create an awareness among industry about the need for changes. Then a pilot processing and production plant are used as models for training purposes. In addition, regular visits to tanneries are made by the experts of the center and target assistance programs. Labor Union. The center also works closely with the Kenyan Tanners Association, which recently was associated as a member. Common facilities and research provided by the center are of great help for the members of the association who lack the resources required for this type of innovation. Innovation Center. Preservation of raw hides and skins. Traditionally, the skins are dried with salt. The center implemented an air drying system. Hair removal. They used to do this with sodium sulfate and lime. The center developed a paint to be applied on the leather by hand, a vegetable solution of mimosa, allowing leather loosen hairs which then are used in the making of brushes. Finishes. There was stopped the using of solvents to pass to the use of coating finishes based on water. Recycling. It was possible to reuse waste chrome of the tanning process of leather for the industry of pigments. Case 2. Habitat improvement. In October 1990, it was held with the support of the Sherman Cooperation Agency, a participatory planning workshop in San Jorge's neighborhood, in the district of San Fernando. It lasted a week. Participants: community leaders, key informants in the neighborhood, representatives of institutions working in the neighborhood, such as school and health center, members of the different secretariats and municipal departments, and special guests. Problems were identified, making and cause and effects analysis. Solutions to problems were solved by observing the relationship between objectives, activities, and results. Finally, it was designed a planning matrix that settled the higher goal, the specific objective of the project, and 10 results with its corresponding activities. The overall objective was improving the quality of life in slums located on land with environmental problems, achieved through the implementation of integrated development projects that are applicable to similar contexts. The specific objective was the property of the land, improving the environment and quality of life in the neighborhood, achieved through the participation of stakeholders. They deserve to be highlighted. The participation of stakeholders, the World Bank, and other multilateral agencies began to promote in the last decade, and the relationship between the environment and quality of life that was considered sustainable development in Agenda 21 in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro. Case 3. Prevention in natural disasters. Sustainable cities. In Peru, it is defined as one that is safe, orderly, healthy, governable, competitive, and efficient in its operation and development without affecting the environment and the historical and cultural heritage. New focus for the reduction of disasters. Selection of sectors less dangerous. Science studies from the earth and engineering. It is short to apply because it is usual to enable urban areas without suitable studies. Apply a hazard map for the plan of soil use. Reduction of vulnerability. The engineering solution reduces vulnerability of buildings. It can be very expensive under an unfavorable soil. How to apply the new approach? By implementing the Sustainable Cities Program that began in Peru in late 1998 as a need to rebuild the cities affected by El Niño in 1997 and 1998, for which cities expanded and grew in density and areas of low or medium natural hazard, according to studies conducted by sciences related with land and engineering. The child is an ocean atmospheric disturbance affecting America, Asia, Europe, Oceania, and particularly the Eastern Pacific in front of Peru and Ecuador. It is called the child for their time of appearance, in late December. The child. It's caused by weakening of the South Pacific anticyclone and reduction of southeast trade winds, presenting westerly winds and transfer to the south. In 1997-98 it originated. Drought in Panama and heavy rains in Ecuador and Peru. Severe droughts that generated large fires in Indonesia and the jungles of the northeastern Brazil. Unusual snowfall and rains that caused heavy losses in the US, Europe, and mainland China. The child indicators. Temperature anomalies of the superficial sea in Paita. The child in Peru and Ecuador. In March and April 1983, torrential rains affected northwestern Peru, causing damage in cities and highways. Danger zones maps, land use plan and mitigation projects, 6.3 million residents. Example, hazard map and plan land use in the town of Sullana. Sullana's hazard map. Red, very danger. Orange, danger. Yellow, medium danger. Green, low danger. High danger zone. Characteristics. Great natural forces. Examples: avalanche, pyroclastic flows or lava, floods with great force, tsunamis, widespread soil liquefaction. Usage: ecological reserves, recreation open or short cycle plants. Danger zone. Characteristics: you can take effective measures to reduce damage to acceptable costs. Examples: high seismic accelerations, flood at low speed, partial liquefaction, and expansive soils. Usage: low density urban use allowed with detailed studies. Medium danger zone. Characteristics: medium natural hazard. Examples: moderate seismic acceleration, sporadic flooding with loud speed. Usage: urban normal geotechnical research. Low danger zone. Characteristics: low seismic amplification. Examples: flat, compact, dry soil with loud pending. No flood, away from gullies or crumbly hills. Usage: high density urban, essential buildings, hospitals, etc. Land use plan of Sullana. Yellow, residential. Orange and bright pink, commercial. Blue, facilities. Pink, services. Violet, industry. Green, tourism and recreation. Gray, special usage. Tsunamis spread, refraction curves, Lima, October 3, 1974. Tsunamis area, Google Map. Catastrophic risk. It occurs when losses are such that retract substantially the socio-economic development of a country. Therefore, it is required external financing in order to rehabilitate and reconstruct the area. The impact depends on the size of the economy. The smaller it is, the greater the impact it suffered. It's important the reduction of natural disasters through states' politics with an integrated approach involving public and private sectors and the implementation of mitigation works. The Ravine 1983, Mitigations Work 1998, San Juan de Dios Hospital in Strengthening Process. Case 4, Biodiversity. Cultivated plants. The producer often thinks seriously about biodiversity, for example, whenever he meditates on the characteristics required of the next crop to implant, such as cycle time, resistance to soil salinity, ability to resist disease, etc. It's necessary that scientists can go to find new and better features of the crops of its interest in nature, specifically in the native region of its geographic distribution, in which these crops will present individuals' adaptations to the different environments of this area. Original regions in Argentina. Much of this valuable genetic material for the agriculture is in extinction danger. Argentina wasn't the original center of diversification of the heavy weight of our agriculture. Wheat, maize, or soya bean. In the north of the country, we can find wild varieties of sweet potato, calabash, tomato, peanut, and potato. The National Agricultural Technology Institute has organized a national network of seed banks where it stored all plant species of importance to agriculture. In these banks, the technicians seek and find the crops characteristics that producers required. Unexploited biodiversity. From the approximately 300 existing plant species, we only employ in human consumption at most 200 species. Of these, only 9, wheat, rice, corn, barley, sugarcane, potato, sweet potato, sorghum, and soya bean, represent 75% of the total contribution to the human diet for part of plant kingdom. The other species, in many cases, are little known or unknown by us. United States. In 1970, the corn producers of the United States were worried about the danger of losing biodiversity. In that year, a viral disease named fog corn reduced corn yields by 50%. More than 80% of the commercial varieties didn't have any resistance against this disease. The solution came from Africa when it was discovered a variety of corn, Maorbeja, with high resistance to this evil. In this way was that United States technicians included in their corn crops the resistance to cope with this viral disease. European Community. Environment preservation. It has been implemented in 1992 a program for new crops devoted mainly to the study of plant species that may become suppliers of raw materials for industry, replacing industrial inputs of chemical origin. They are propitiate Washule, producer of rubber and resins, jojoba for liquid wax, cosmetics, lubricants, and pharmacology, kenaf as raw material for newsprint, lequereja and chia for industrial oil. Conclusions. Industries that, due to the processes involved in their production, generate toxic waste can avoid dumping it in the environment and also benefit with its sale as raw material for other industries. In addition, companies in the same industry that need to generate toxic waste can create and finance, in partnership with government support, research and development centers of best practices. They can also benefit financially from the outcome of this research by replacing toxic inputs less polluting or designing techniques to use them more effectively, as in the case of the Center for the Development of Leather. You can get precarious housing settlements gaining access to the provision of basic services through the active participation of the neighbors in workshops specially designed to solve this problem. In turn, the study of the land is possible according to a map of danger of natural disasters, with the help of science and engineering related to the ground. From there, you can establish a strategic plan for land uses and destinations, example, housing, public facilities, recreation, military installations, evacuations paths, etc., and reinforcement of buildings, structures, avoiding thus the loss of many lives and the backwardness of the economy whenever natural disasters occurred. Different geographical areas need different types of seeds according to the inherent characteristics of the soil and climate. In addition, in some opportunities, as in the case of pests that colonize crops, it's necessary the replacement of some kind of seeds with others that are more resistant in these conditions. So it is essential to create seed banks. From the total existing plant biodiversity, only a small percentage is intended for human consumption. There are varieties that haven't been studied or exploited commercially yet, so we don't know if it would be beneficial to incorporate them to human diet. They have also been discovered plants and products from them that can be used as a replacement of industrial chemicals, although there haven't been analyzed all the available plant species in the world yet. Due to the reasons given above, it is essential for humans try to preserve as much biodiversity might exist on the planet.